The king took care of that old Haman. Boy, did he ever take care of that old villain. And Queen Esther saved the Jews of Persia. Then later she was made even more famous for having started a series of literary lunches at the palace with the aim of exploring the idea of representative democracy and balance of power in ruling institutions. And thus ends the story of Esther. From Elijah on, we have learned that prophets are people of deep integrity, which is why they feel compelled to speak out. They are also afraid because they know how much integrity frightens people in power. From Muhammad, we learned that prophets say something that changes the world, not just one life, but everyone's life, and that they change the way we see the world with their words. And for this reason, they are reluctant, lest they be mistaken. From Esther, we have learned that prophets are chosen by others, never self-appointed, and that they serve others more than themselves. So this is what you need to know, friends. Prophets are moral messengers. They have a vision of the way things could be that's better than it is. They come from places we do not expect. Elijah came from the hinterlands of Israel. Muhammad from the merchant carols of Mecca, or from a beauty pageant. They deliver a message that they do not want to deliver, and they do it to someone who doesn't want to hear it. And they do it for someone other than themselves. That's what makes a prophet. An unexpected person delivers an unexpected message to an unwanting listener for someone else not in the room. Without this, it is not a prophet. All the predictions in the world will not make you a prophet. If you tell someone's fortune, it does not make you a prophet. You can do all the illusions and magic in the world, but if you do not deliver a message of moral urgency, you're merely a magician. And what we need in the world, in a world that has Libya and Algeria and Egypt, in a world that has poverty and struggle and injustice, what we need are more prophets. But we mostly have pretenders. What we have, if you turn on your television, are the professional pundits who predict the future, but you can only find out about it if you read their book or go to their lecture. One thing I can tell you, a prophet never charges for the truth. Politicians promise to work all sorts of wonders like magicians, but we know mostly what they want is to stay politicians. And then there are pastors, people who are like me, who rail of moral decline from high pulpits, but they want to make sure the spotlight's always on them in the meantime. All of these spoil our belief in prophets. They raise a constant babble that distracts us from the real voice of the prophet, the one in each of us. The duty of this church, of all spiritual communities, if they're honest, is to liberate our minds so we can hear the voice of prophecy that's already in there waiting to get out. The task of a true religion is to strengthen our hearts and wills so that we can listen to that voice of prophecy and live by it with great integrity, despite the fear that others will feel when we march through the world clad really only in our self-respect. And ultimately, we have places like this so we can find the courage to speak and act in ways that, as the hymn said last week, call and lo, new justice, and speak and lo, new truth. You are the prophets. If you don't say it, it will not be heard. You have new justice waiting in you. And if you do not say it and live it, injustice will prevail. You have truth in you. And if you do not speak it and live it, falsehood will prevail. This week's hymn, which we're about to sing, says, "Prophetic Church, the future waits thy liberating ministry." It does wait. In Libya, Iran, Myanmar, and even in Wisconsin. Who will be the prophets that end the wait? Who in the midst of us will be the prophets today? I bid you sing that you may answer that question. Amen.